Hello and welcome to day 4 of the December Colouring Challenge. I'm Alex from Midpip and I'm an illustrator based in New Zealand. I challenged myself to colour and record an illustration every day in December, and today's illustration is of a wreath on the door. For today's colour scheme I went with a lot of warm tones. I want this drawing to look cosy and inviting. Do you hang Christmas wreaths on your front door? I actually don't have one myself. I only own a Jellycat plush wreath. It has a cute little face on it and its little legs dangle down from the wreath. It's really cute. I associate this sort of drawing with carol singers, but I think in reality that's a thing that only exists in Hallmark movies. In New Zealand at Christmas, a lot of the musical activities are done by brass bands. We have a huge brass band community here, and it's really fantastic to listen to at Christmas time. The other thing I really love about brass bands is that the age range is incredible. They go from very young to extremely old. And I think that's in keeping with the community spirit of Christmas time. So I've just spent this entire time thinking that I was colouring in with a Copic marker called YR000, which is silk, but I had actually picked up YR00, which is powder pink, and it's going to interfere a little bit with my planned colour scheme. It's a little bit too saturated for what I wanted. The next colour I'm going to use is Barley Beige. It's a brown pink, and it should have stood out a bit more if I'd actually used silk like I'd intended. So this next part I have sped up to 7 times the speed of which I drew it, because I just had to go over and over and over again in the hopes of making this colour a little bit darker. You can now see a slight difference between the two colours. This will end up being okay because I don't actually want the trim of the door to be too different from the door colour. It all works out in the end. I'm now using yellow ochre. It's a good colour to substitute for brass. The door jamb will be coloured in with warm grey number 7. It's a much darker colour to frame the door. Using pops of dark colour will help the other elements in your drawing to stand out more. When I decided to do this challenge, I thought that designing all the illustrations in November would have actually taken the longest part, but in reality, this part is actually taking a really long time as well, because I keep on having to re-record my voice as I make mistakes and I have hesitations and I forget my chain of thought. I'm going to be using 2 colours to colour in this concrete step. In reality, it would just be a grey colour, but I wanted to add a little bit of blue tone into this picture because it is very warm toned overall. The first colour was called Cool Grey number 3, and I'm now going over it in Robin's Egg Blue. Those 2 colour names were actually surprisingly hard to pronounce one after the other. Once this concrete step is finished, we're heading straight back into the warm tones for the house colour. This is called Caribe Cocoa, which is cocoa from the Caribbean. If you're watching this video and wondering what on earth is going on here, just imagine you're watching a YouTube video from the early days. One of those low quality videos we all used to watch. Let's just pretend that this is a deliberate style choice rather than a lack of skill on my part. I would add in some music here, but I don't know the YouTube rules around royalties and copyright, so I'm not going to risk it. It would be an ideal time right now for the imaginary carol singers from the Hallmark movies to show up and start singing. I definitely think they would show up to sing at this door. It looks very warm and inviting. Anyway, I've neglected learning about how to use social media to show my work to everybody, and now I've decided to change that. One of the skills I'm going to have to learn is how to record my voice and do voiceovers and things like that for when I do my work. So I challenged myself to do this every day in December. As this is only day 4, I'm still very new to the whole process. This colour is called Pale Ochre. It's actually much more pigmented than the name suggests. and it is in keeping with the warm tones of this drawing. Usually a wreath would be done in a pine green colour, which is a dark green and usually a lot cooler toned. If you've gotten this far into the video, I would really love it if you liked and subscribed to my channel. This last colour is called Salmon Pink. It is another warm toned colour and it's very slightly orange tinged red. And that's it for today. I hope you liked this illustration. I'm really happy with the colours that I chose and how it turned out. See you tomorrow.